What's going on YouTube? It's Skywise back with another video. Today, we're gonna discuss and go over the 5 biggest safety rules while riding your e-board. Now, just a quick disclaimer. These 5 rules of safety are in no particular order. It's not, first is the most important, 5th is not. Anything to do with safety is important. The smallest steps to the biggest steps. Safety is safety at the end of the day. And now, whether you're a new rider or you've been riding for years, this list has to do with you. I myself, I've been riding for years. I've played trial and error. I took the falls, I have the scars, and that's why I'm here today to give you this list. And also, one more thing before we get started, just to save us some time and to save some points in here that we won't mention because they're self-explanatory. The rules of the road apply to e-boarding as well. I live in the inner city, I ride on streets, I don't just ride on the sidewalks. The streets are smoother. People might give me shit for that, but the streets are so much smoother than sidewalks. If you know the rules of the road, apply those to also while you're riding your board as well. So, number 1, before you leave your house, before you even get on the board, go over your board, check the board, check the bolts, check the wheels, check the bearings, check the trucks. Make sure your ESC, that's your remote and your board, make sure the connectivity between the two are working properly. When you throttle, it throttles, and you brake, it brakes. That connection can kind of get a little iffy sometimes. Your throttle can turn into a brake. That has happened to me with the Meepo V3 ER. That has happened to me. Middle of riding, the left hub turned into a brake. I didn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. I had one board, the wheels wouldn't lock anymore while you braked. That's important. Many things you need to go over. And I want to put in here, I don't really want to make this a point on its own. When you first buy a board, the wheels are not yet broken in. They're brand new, slick plastic. So before you start carving super sharp, make sure these wheels are broken in. I had a Meepo V3 right out of the box, and I was just carving in the parts like I have every other board I've owned. But something about Meepo's plastic, this plastic just looks slick. It looked like it had armor on it, but it was straight out of the box. I was going through a carve and a corner, carving hard, and my board just, it was like I was on ice. It was bad, I fell down. So go over your board every time before you ride it. That's important. We're ripping down this real quick. Going pretty fast. So, number 2, make sure you're looking left, you're looking right, you're looking in front of you, you're looking behind you, you're looking above you, you're looking below you. You are looking in every direction humanely possible. When you're going like 15 to 20 miles an hour, you gotta focus on more so than just what's exactly in front of you. You have to look in every single direction. Our biggest predators on e-boards are dogs, cars, and obstacles on the road and on sidewalks and in streets. Even if you're riding on the sidewalk, you still have to watch out for cars when you're on crosswalks and stuff. It doesn't matter where you're riding. Bicyclists. People on bicycles be whipping through these trails. I mean, potholes, bumps, you ride the sidewalks, once again, uneven pads on the sidewalk. They rise over time. Trees cause those to rise a significant amount enough to make you fall on your board. In the fall, watch for leaves. You don't want to be going over leaves. It's like motorcyclists driving through grass on the street. I mean, there's just so many obstacles you need to watch out for. The list goes on and on and on and on. Just watch all of your surroundings possible, every direction, constantly. Don't get distracted. Don't sit there and record videos on a GoPro. Don't sit on your phone and text. Just always make sure you're watching your surroundings. Number 3, don't rely just on your judgment. Don't think just because you wouldn't do something, that means someone else won't do something. This is a really important, prime example. Everybody doesn't stop at stop signs. I do, you do, I hope we do. We try to, but you can't just rely on stuff like that. People run red lights. I mean, if that, you know, walking arrow in an intersection hits and you're already rolling, still slow down and still stop. I would not just going as hot as I'm going, you know, if I'm rolling, you know, 15, 16, 17, 18 miles an hour, and you know that's fast on the e-board. I wouldn't just roll that right through the intersection. I would slow down to about maybe just under 10 miles an hour at least. Check both ways, make sure everybody stops, because you know when that light turns yellow, people are trying to hit that, and I mean, they still might be a little far out, and they're gonna try to hit that light. And then you always check about at least 12, 13 seconds in front of you. You know, you wanna see what's in front of you, what's coming at you, along with obviously checking all directions. It's still important what's in front of you. But don't rely just because, oh, well, I would stop at that stop sign, right? Everybody stops at that stop sign. No, everybody doesn't stop at that stop sign. I mean, people are gonna run through it hot. So make sure you keep that in mind while riding, especially at high speeds and especially through the city. Number 4, and I'm gonna tie an extra one in with this one. So for number 4, riding through new areas should be a learning curve every time. Whenever you're riding through a new trail or a new neighborhood or a new area, you have to learn everything about that area. You want to learn the terrain, you want to learn the cuts, you know, where's the most traffic at, where's the stop signs at, you know, you want to, where's the potholes? Some areas, you know, oh, you know, this is a sandy area through here, or this area is kind of low ground, so if it rains, it always kind of gets, you know, really wet right here. The water kind of floods over a little bit. Always learn your new areas. It doesn't matter how advanced of a rider you are. If you're going through a new area, an undiscovered area, you have to take it easy through there. You can't just be whipping around all these areas because you're such a great rider. For the first time and second time at least, learn the area, learn the locations of things, learn your riding route through there, and you know, and enjoy it at the same time. I mean, it's not always a speed contest, you know, riding 20, 30 miles an hour. I'm gonna hit top speed right on this strip right here. I've never hit it before. That is so ridiculous. I mean, that is one of the most stupidest things you can do. For example, right here, this trail that I'm riding right now. Say this is the first time I rode it, and I'm like, all right, you know, I'm gonna goose it. I'm gonna go, you know, let me, look at this, let me boom, you know, I know, let's hit top speed, you know, on this trail. I don't know the trail yet. I mean, don't let the, you know, beginning, you know, smoothness, you know, fool you. I mean, there's so many obstacles that could arise, and if you're going like 20 miles an hour, it's gonna be too late when you come across something. It's gonna be too late, and you know, it's gonna be over. You always gotta just learn the areas. It comes with time. Just at least ride it at least one time before you start ripping it through new areas and new trails. Just learn your surroundings. Awareness is super important. And this is what I'm gonna tie that extra little point in. Whenever you're crossing a busier area, like for example, a street, like I was just crossing the street to get to where I'm at now, probably about 20 minutes ago, and there was so much traffic. It's literally just that time of the day. It's rush hour. Don't ride your board through traffic like that. It's best to just get off your board and hold it with your hand, and just when there's a clearing, just walk across the street, preferably through a crosswalk. But if you're gonna jaywalk, just walk it. Don't try to whip your board through there at an opening. Yes, it's possible. Yes, it's easy. Yes, I do it. I'm sure we all do, but it's better if you just walk through it. Majority of the time, I always walk through it. It's very rarely, if it's like 7 o'clock at night and there's really no traffic out there, I'll ride it through. But I live very inner city, so there's almost always traffic. I usually will, I mean, and this board's heavy. The Zelot S is heavy. And I'm holding, I got my GoPro in one hand. I only got my left hand for the board. It's not very comfortable, but I make it work. And you know, safety is on my mind. So for number 5, I'm gonna tie 2 points in as well, because this one's gonna be a little shorter and sweeter than the other ones. When you are going into a new season of riding, this may not apply to everybody, but I live in the north, Ohio, and we have rough winters. You know, I can't really ride in the winter, December. There's no point. I put my boards away until the spring. I'd rather not. It's too cold, and plus you got to think, riding on, you know, super cold pavement, your tires are not going to grip as they would if it was like 80, 90 degrees out. So it's just, my boards are put away all winter. If you live in like Florida or, you know, somewhere else, I mean, that may not apply to you, but for me it does. So with that being said, when you go into a new season of riding, don't try to pick up where you left off last season. I take this for myself because I ride a motorcycle. I have a crotch rocket, and when I come in the beginning of the season on my bike, I am not out there ripping it. The first day I have it out, after not having it out for 6 months, I don't go out there on the highway and, you know, hit 100 miles an hour and just rip it up. I don't do that. I don't pick up where I left off at, because you're gonna be rusty. I mean, it's just how it is. It's how it is in life. Don't go out there trying to be cocky, trying to impress anybody, and just start learning and practice the things you were working on the previous year. Warm up for it, get a feel for it, and get to know it again. Practice, practice, practice. There's just too many times that things are put away and people try to go out on them, and they're like, man, I was so good last year. But I'm like, yeah, well, you know, give it a little bit. And I'm the guy too, like when I go out with my buddies, you know, I like to ride fast on my board. I like to ride fast on my bike. And you know, and my buddies they're not really like that. They don't start getting a little speedy, cocky till about, you know, midway through the season. So it aggravates me, but you know, I appreciate their patience. And this is where I'm gonna tie another thing in. When you're riding with friends who want to ride like me, I always keep them in consideration. We of course have speed zones, but I make sure, you know, we're all in communication on that. I mean, we're all pretty avid riders, so this doesn't really apply to me too much, but I have extra boards, and I will lend them out to buddies who have never rode before, or who it'd be fun to have ride with us. And you know, I'm not gonna be like, all right, man, here's a board, all right, keep up now. And I don't do that. I'll trail them for a little bit, or they'll trail me for a little bit, and I'll make sure I'll keep it slow. I'll put it in like mode 2, and you know, and they'll be fine. You know, they'll top out about like 17 miles an hour, if that. So always, when you're riding with friends, keep everybody in consideration, and don't expect everybody, you know, to be just like you, and just don't push people or pressure people outside of their comfort zone. That's how people get hurt. So that's gonna wrap up the video, guys. I've tried to put some great tips and helpful safety tips in there. I really hope you guys learned something from that. My goal is I don't want you guys getting hurt. I don't want anybody getting hurt, and I really want new people who are new to riding to watch this and to learn something from this, and I hope it helps you, and I also hope it helps people new to the community. We love new members in the skate community. And safety is just, you know, as I was saying the whole video, it's always #1. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.